It is so easy to get overwhelmed by clutter and chaos in your home. So in today's video, in just 45 minutes, I'm going to share 24 life-changing tips that'll transform your home even with the busiest of schedules. I can guarantee that implementing just even one of these tips is going to drastically transform your home. So I have made sure to break down these tips. So not only am I going to share with you some daily tips you can implement, but also monthly and weekly tips as well. But I want to start with your mornings. I highly recommend implementing a 5-minute tidy every single morning. I always say I like to focus on high impact zones in those 5 minutes in the morning. And that can be different for everybody. For me, those are going to be places like my bedroom, the kitchen, and then flat surfaces. Any type of clutter and stuff and getting it organized is going to not only give you so much more mental clarity throughout the day, but it also will give you that boost of serotonin to give you more energy to tackle the rest of your daily duties. I feel like this next one is a game changer, especially if you have kids, but honestly, even if you just have a significant other, implementing drop zones make a huge difference. We all have those things when we get home from school and work and groceries and whatever it is. So having an area dedicated for each of those things, if it's keys, the mail picking up that day, kids' shoes and backpacks. This helps so much with preventing clutter and mess from migrating to different areas of your home. As well as, especially with mail, a lot easier where if once a week, once a month, you need to go through everything, it's all in one area and it's a lot less overwhelming than having to get it out of the junk drawer, the bedroom, all over the place. I also highly recommend, talking about mail, keeping it in an area close to the door. I have a great little paper organizer hung up in our laundry room. That way, every day we get the mail, we right away go through stuff, and anything that has to be looked over goes into that little filing setup. Anything with delicate information on it is either filed away or shredded, and then trash is recycled right away. It's also great to build responsibility and structure for children, knowing that when they get home from school, instead of just dropping their shoes and backpacks and papers wherever, they get into that routine of knowing where each of these things go. Now, if you are dealing with clutter, and I feel like a lot of us have the clutter in our house, one of the best rules that I implemented is 1 in and 1 out. So if you're buying new toys, being able to go through and get rid of a toy when you get a new toy, or home decor. I am like one of those people that I love home decor. I try not to go to Hobby Lobby or Home Goods or Target or anything on a regular basis because I just get drawn to those pretty things. But if you can implement 1 in, 1 out, it's a great rule. I've also seen a lot of people do it that when they get Amazon packages, they take that box and instead of recycling it right away, making it a rule of, okay, I have this box, now I have to fill it with donations. And if you're just getting out on your decluttering journey, I think that is such a great rule. 1, you're breaking it down to much more manageable type situations, but 2, I feel like it makes you take a second thought before just purchasing something for your home. I know some of the worst tasks to do in your house are the monotonous, mundane tasks. The laundry pretty much daily, dishes, counters, and things like that. But it brings me to my next rule, which is cleaning as you go. I know it's not the most fun thing to do in the world, but I have found that I enjoy cleaning more the more I do it, purely because these tasks never get so overwhelming. I'm sure you've all have heard it, but the rule that Mess collects mess and clutter attracts clutter is so true. So just making this simple, making sure the dishes go into the dishwasher after every meal and wiping down the counters, dirty clothes end up in the hamper or washing machine right away. These simple tasks are going to make the daily monotonous cleaning so much easier, because the more you let the clutter and mess build up, it's one of those things that over time, that is what gets so overwhelming. You get to that point where it's like, okay, this has gotten so out of hand, I just don't want to deal with it anymore. So tackling it in little bite-sized chunks as you go really will make you enjoy cleaning just a little bit more. And trust me, I am not someone that loves to clean, but I have learned that living in a clean home is something that I do really enjoy. Now, we all know nobody's perfect, and I am definitely no exception. So this next rule is something that I have been working on, but even I am not the greatest at it. I am not a nighttime cleaner, but it is such a nice feeling on those nights that I do dedicate just 10 minutes to do a end of the night reset so that when I wake up in the morning, everything is all done. Like I said, we're not all perfect, and I feel like implementing these things one at a time is actually a lot more manageable than jumping in head first on all 24. But if of all these tips, especially if you are a night person, if you can implement just 10 minutes at night, doing a quick tidy up, running your dishwasher so it's clean come the morning, and everything like that, it's going to be a great way to set yourself up for success in the morning. Now, this next one is great if you have a super busy schedule. If it's you work full-time outside of the home, or you have kids with 1,000,001 different extracurriculars, whatever it will be, but use a timer. You will be amazed at how much you can get done in 5 to 10 minutes when you're setting that time aside dedicated for cleaning. I don't know what it is about a timer, but I guarantee every time I set a timer for 5 or 10 minutes, I get so much more done in that little bit of time than if I'm just willy-nillying it. I think it's because I know I have a end sight that I can see as well. And you're also making it kind of like a game. How much can you get done in 5 to 10 minutes? Beating that clock. I feel like anything you can do to trick your mind into making it a little bit more enjoyable is huge. But I also notice I'm less distracted by the kids. I'm less distracted by my phone or the TV when I know that timer is running, and I know that when that timer is done, I can be done. This next one saves you so much time, and that is keeping your cleaning supplies readily available. That means keeping cleaning supplies in each of your bathrooms, as well as in the kitchen, the laundry room, wherever it's going to be the easiest to get at it. I find that when I have things where I can easily grab it, instead of seeing a mess on the counter and being like, oh, I'll get to it later when I grab my supplies, I'm more apt to just deal with it right then and there. That is also one of the reasons that I do love having disinfectant wipes on hand. Often I use my multi-purpose spray, but there are times that I just want to do a quick wipe down, and these disinfectant wipes are quick and easy. I have them in the kitchen, the laundry room, each of the bathrooms, and it really is a good way to just stay on top of things. If I'm in the bathroom giving one of the girls a bath, I know I can do a quick cleaning and tidying of the bathroom while they're in there, and it doesn't feel like I'm wasting time doing it because I'm trying to just multitask. But I also know it's not something that would be done in that way if I didn't have the cleaning supplies easily available to me. Now, I touched on this one a little bit a couple tips back, but I feel like this is such a crucial step that it deserves its own spotlight, and that is decluttering regularly. If you can spend just 10 minutes a week decluttering, I think you would be utterly surprised at the way your home looks today compared to 1 year from now. We always see these big, huge transformations, especially here online, because let's be honest, it wouldn't be as entertaining if you didn't see a bunch of stuff getting done. The little slow declutterings aren't as entertaining as a KonMari declutter. However, when it comes to real life, that's just not always possible, and more often than not, it's more overwhelming than it is actually useful. So if you can spend just 10 minutes every single week focusing on one area of your house to declutter, it's one of those things, and I say it all the time, but focusing on progress over perfection. 10 minutes may not seem like a lot right now, and it may not seem like it makes a huge difference, but no different than losing weight. Those 10 minutes add up a lot over time. And the other big thing to remember about decluttering is it's not a one and done. For most households in America and even in the world, we don't declutter and then stop consuming. We are definitely in a society and a generation that consumption is a thing. So unless you declutter and never buy anything ever again, decluttering is something that getting into a habit of just regularly decluttering makes it so much easier to maintain your house in the long run.
We're meant to be like the sun and the moon.
This next one was such an important tip for me to implement into my life. And if you followed me for a while, you know one of the things I hate doing when it comes to cleaning is laundry. It's not so much the washing and drying process, but the actual putting away and organizing it once it is all done, I don't love doing. But if you can implement doing your laundry more often in smaller batches, it definitely helps tremendously. I know for my personal situation that if I had a laundry room bursting at the seams with laundry, I would get so overwhelmed that I honestly probably wouldn't touch it either. So just doing a little bit every single day or every other day, I definitely don't do laundry every single day, but I have gotten to where each kid has their own laundry basket, as well as Bobby and I. And once those laundry baskets are full, we go through them and wash them. That way it's always just like one load. The kids don't have a huge laundry basket. It's literally one load worth of laundry, and we know they have to be done when those baskets are full. Now, if you've seen my rolling laundry basket, that one is definitely a different situation. That thing is massive. However, my excuse for that one is it is a game changer when it comes to stripping bedding. I love that I can roll that thing around and put all of the bedding in it from our bed, the kids' beds, everything, and roll it straight into the laundry room. So that one is a little bit different outside of my rule, but even when it comes to our clothes, once the basket has enough of our clothes to do a load, I like to do it right then and there, and that way I'm not doing 3, 4, 5 loads in one day, unless it's bed washing day, and then I don't really have an option.
Forever, forever, forever.
Now, one of my favorite things to do to help maintain a clean and organized home is using bins and baskets. I swear the invention of bins and baskets are the best thing ever. If you're a closet blanket hoarder like I am, or just have a million toys laying around your house, being able to scoop everything up and throw it either into a bin or a basket just to get rid of that visual clutter makes a huge difference. Now, the types of bins and baskets will vary depending on your cleaning and organizing personality. I personally don't want to see my stuff, so I like bins and baskets that are not clear or anything. I don't use as many labels when it comes to bins or baskets, but you can also use clear shoebox holders, label them. So figure out what works best for you. But implementing bins and baskets in the family room, bedrooms, literally all over your house. I even have them in my kitchen cabinets for spices and baking, things like that. That way I can easily pull them down, especially I am a short girly. So on my upper cabinets where I have spices that I don't use on a regular basis, I love having them in bins. That way I can pull stuff down, see everything I have. You've also would have seen I have bins in my pantry to help organize out different snacks and grains and things like that. So if you can implement that into your life, you will notice, one, it makes your house so much more organized, and two, it makes it so much easier and quicker to pick up at the end of the day or in the morning. All right, now let's talk about some weekly/monthly cleaning tips that'll make your life so much easier. The first one, and I think is so important, especially this is the time of year. We are in the spring cleaning where everyone wants to get everything done in one day. But I want to challenge you to set aside 30, 45 minutes, maybe even an hour a week to deep cleaning. This doesn't mean your entire house, but pick an area. You're actually going to see in today's video that my area of deep cleaning was in the boys' bedroom, and boy did it need it. But taking just 30 to 45 minutes once a week is going to make it so much easier to maintain it throughout the entire year. Now, how many of you guys hate cleaning out your fridge and pantry? Well, I have found that I definitely hate it a lot less by implementing once a week, going through my fridge and pantry and getting rid of things that have expired or gone stale or bad and just giving it a quick wipe down. Sure, I like going in still every couple of months and doing a thorough deep cleaning, but doing just once a week, quick tidy and quick wipe down, I have found makes it stay so much nicer, so much longer, and I don't have that dreaded feeling of, I have to clean my fridge today. Like I said earlier, sometimes those tasks that you hate doing the most are a lot more enjoyable, or at least bearable, the more you do them. Now, having 4 kids, one of the biggest struggles is toy clutter. It is so easy to get overwhelmed by the amount of stuff our children have, and often it's not by our doing. I know for me, come birthdays and holidays, it's not just the stuff that we buy the kids, but they have aunts and uncles and grandparents that enjoy spoiling the kids, and there's nothing wrong with that. But I have found that implementing a toy rotation and making sure to go through them regularly, getting rid of toys that they don't play with anymore or aren't age appropriate, make it a lot easier for you as a parent to maintain. But I think the biggest thing is I have noticed by getting rid of toys, my kids actually play so much better. They use more of their imagination. They don't get overwhelmed. And I always tell people to think of it basically like yourself. If you walk into your kids' rooms and you're feeling anxious and overwhelmed, and we have a fully developed brain, just imagine what your little child who, one, is viewing the world so much larger than we are as adults just because of their size, but also without fully developed brains, how overwhelming it is for them. So implementing that toy rotation keeps kids engaged and entertained so much longer, and also just helps with their anxiety and emotions in the long run. I think one of the most common questions I get asked about is paper clutter. We all have it. Even though most things are digital nowadays, I swear there's still so much paper clutter in our lives between bills and school papers and just all of the things. And I feel like this time of year is perfect. How many of us had a million papers out because we were filing our taxes, So you're going through receipts and donations and all of those things. Well, setting up a organized filing system makes life so much easier. I know this time of year especially, we are very diligent of making sure that we create a brand new file for taxes. That way, whenever we get anything in, it goes directly into that file and it prevents things from just piling up. And then also going back to the paper filing system in our laundry room, not only do I use that for mail, but I also use that for important papers for the kids' school. So if they have a field trip paper that needs to get filled out, assignments that need to get done, it all has its own section. That way we know exactly where it is and we never have just a pile of things getting lost and overwhelming us in the long run. Paper, as small as it is, I feel like can be one of the most overwhelming things to actually have to go through. This one I think is so important just for the health and well-being of your family, but I think you should wash your bedding every single week. I make sure once a week I do all of the kids' bedding, doing their sheets and their comforters and their pillows. I do probably about once a month to every other month. I'm not perfect at the pillows every single month, but not only one, it feels amazing, let's be honest, to sleep in a freshly washed bed, but it also is going to help with allergies and things like that in your home. I know people always ask me if I have multiple sets of sheets, and I do not for our beds. I, one, like putting on freshly cleaned sheets onto the bed after they've come out of the shower. But also, I think it's really good to let your mattresses breathe. So in those couple hours of washing and drying, just open up a window and let that mattress air out. I know it's gross, but we all sweat and lose hair and dead skin at night that works its way through the fibers of your sheets and comforter. So giving it that time to really breathe, I feel like is so important. All right, we're going back to the idea of progress over perfection on this one. But once a week, I want you to spend 10 minutes picking one area to just organize and reset. This can be one drawer in your dresser. This can be a section of your closet, your junk drawer, whatever it may be. But if you take 10 minutes a week just to reorganize one area of your home, it makes it so much easier than doing a massive declutter, organize, cleaning all at once. By implementing these smaller chunks, you're less overwhelmed, and I feel like maintaining it in the long run is so much easier. Because let's be honest, if we're overwhelmed and don't want to do it, it's not helping anyone. Where if we focus just on the progress and not worrying about our house is completely perfect, once again, don't think about it for this week, but think of it in a year from now, how different your space is going to look in 1 year if you spent just 10 minutes every single week organizing a new space in your home. However, just like decluttering, this is not a one and done thing. For most of us, by the time you get through your entire house, you're going to be going back to your first place that you organized and starting over. And this can be for multiple reasons. One, a lot of us aren't living by ourselves. Now, I know some of you are, but a lot of us are moms and wives, husbands, and we're not the only ones living in that space. And it's a lot easier for things to get unorganized the more people that live in your home. So for me, we're a family of 6. Now, Athena's not really worrying about organization at all or making things a mess yet. But needless to say, when it comes to my fridge and my pantry, there are 5 people going in and out of those areas of the house every single day, which means they're going to get unorganized and cluttered a lot quicker. But like I said before, those projects that seem the most overwhelming, the more you stay on top of it, the easier it is in the long run, and it will make your life so much easier and your anxiety will be so much less. I'm someone that deals with anxiety and depression and all of those things, and I just found that breaking it down in the long run will save your mental state tremendously.
Falling in love. You set my wheels in motion.
All right, so these next tips I wanted to especially share for those of us that are just have super busy, crazy lives. If it's kids or pets or work or whatever it is, we all live such a crazy go, go, go lives nowadays that I feel like time management tips are extremely important to help with maintaining your home in the long run. Now, this first one, you may hear it and you're like, okay, but how does this help me keep a clean house? But I promise it does. And that is going to be to meal prep. Meal prep, one, saves you so much time not having to think and worry about what you're cooking for that day, but also in the long run makes your house stay so much cleaner, especially if you're someone that loves freezer meals. Not only does it save me time at night when cooking dinner or preparing lunches or anything like that, but it also saves time and energy when it comes to cleaning, because if I do a big meal prep once a week, once a month, it makes it that, one, I'm only buying the groceries that I need instead of going to the grocery store and just picking out whatever looks good that day. But also a lot less dishes when you've pre-prepped for the week ahead.
It's what you're doing that's making me feel like I'm falling. Yeah, I'm falling in love.
Now, I know my love language is acts of service. It's one of the reasons that maintaining a home is actually something I do enjoy, even though I may not always enjoy the process. But I feel like it is so important to get everyone involved. Giving each of the kids age-appropriate chores, making sure that your husbands and significant others are staying involved as well. Often in society, we're still under, even though many of us women work and are bringing home an income as well, but we're still under this whole idea of the woman should be cleaning and cooking and doing all the things. And I feel like nowadays it is so important to realize you're not the only one living in your house, and everyone should be involved in the maintaining of your home. Now, you can vary that however you'd like when it comes to your home. I know for Bobby and I, and inside cleaning of our house, I do 90% of it. However, when it comes to the outside of the house, he does 90% of that. We both help each other out sometimes with different projects, or if one of us isn't feeling well. But we definitely know in our house that I enjoy working inside a lot more than I enjoy working outside, and it just works really well. And then the kids each have their chores. The boys actually just started mowing the grass once Bobby ended up getting hurt. But even Freya, when the dishwasher needs to be unloaded, I make sure that she does the silverware and things like that. They all are in charge of making sure that their bedroom stays clean, that their bathroom stays clean. I am not a mom that is in their room every single day cleaning up after them. I will go in, like you see here, and do my good mommy cleaning and give it a good deep clean every once in a while. But I think it's very important, one, for you to give you some free time and a little bit of reprieve, but also it creates a good work ethic and responsibility for your kids in the long run. I also find that they appreciate the work that I do in the home when they're involved. They realize mom still does most of it, but they also realize how much time and effort goes into doing what I do every day.
That's right, all guys are you. Oh, it's you.
Another great way to save time is by combining chores. And it doesn't even need to be combining chores, but doing two things at the same time. If that is cleaning the kitchen while listening to your favorite podcast, or, okay, this one's going to be very specific to me, but when I am pumping for the baby and sitting down for 30 minutes, I like to stay productive. If that is editing a video, filling out papers that I've been putting off, or anything like that. But multitasking will save you so much time, and a lot of ways can make the cleaning process more enjoyable, especially when you combine something fun with something not so fun.
Knew her by her will to make it whatever she put her mind to. Late night hours up the hill.
This one I feel like is such a game changer in today's day and age. We are so blessed with the things that we have to make our lives easier. I think of just even 100 years ago compared to today, and we are very blessed for what we have. If it's as simple as a washing machine and dishwasher and things like that. And I want to encourage you to take advantage of technology. I love my robot vacuums and my vacuum mops and things like that because it saves me so much time. If I'm just doing a quick tidy up in one room, I can tidy it up, send the robot vacuum in there, and go work on something else and not have to worry about that 10-minute chore of vacuuming when I can use technology to help me. And I know what a lot of you are probably thinking, because I see it in the comments all the time, that these things can be pricey. And they absolutely can. However, I just did a local search on my Facebook Market page, and I am shocked at how many robot vacuums, vacuum mops are available, and most of them in literally almost brand new condition. Most of the time when people are getting rid of things, the great thing about Facebook Marketplace is they know that it's too nice to just donate, but you can get it at such a reasonable price. And most of the time, the only reason people are getting rid of it is because they bought maybe the newest model or got the newest model for a gift or something like that. But taking advantage of the technology we have in today's day and age will save you so much time. All right, this next one may be difficult for some of us, and for me, it was very difficult for a very long time. But to limit decor and decorations in your home. This saves so much time because you're not having to worry about dusting around everything, tidying everything up. So I have found over the years that I prefer to have decor that, one, is meaningful, and two, is something that if I look at it and I'm like, okay, if the kids dropped this and it completely shattered, would I replace it? I feel like that is one of the best questions you can ask yourself. Would you buy this again? If it was destroyed, would you buy it again? And if the answer is no, and you can use this for more than just decor, clothing, gadgets you have in your house. If the question is no, often that is a great sign that you can get rid of it. But also, even like in the kitchen, you'll notice that I decorate a lot with practical items. So I like to use a pretty utensil holder because I know the utensils I'm going to have out all the time. I love using cutting boards, and no, they're not just pretty. I do use all of my cutting boards and things like that. Using practical decor, not having an overabundance of it, makes it that visually your house is a lot less cluttered and will make you feel a lot better. But also then you don't have all those tedious knickknacks to dust on a regular basis. Now, talking about having less stuff, let's talk about keeping donation boxes readily available. I think it is so important to have donation boxes just available and in convenient areas. So like in the kids' closet, I like to have a donation box in their room. That way if they put something on and it doesn't fit anymore, because we all know kids grow like weeds. I swear I just bought the boys a brand new wardrobe for their birthday just 6 months ago, and we need to go shopping again because almost none of their clothes fit, and that's just normal life. So having it in their closet, that way when they try something on, it can go right into that basket, makes a huge difference. The other area I like to keep them is either in the garage or laundry room. So if I am decluttering and organizing just a small area, I can put it in that box right away. And then once it's full, it goes into my car. That way, the next time I'm out, I can drop it off at the Goodwill or Salvation Army, whatever is nearest to you, and get it out of your house right away. It's very important to not hold on to that clutter that you're donating. I know for a lot of us, it's really easy to do the work and then not actually get rid of the stuff. But I promise you, getting it not just out of the space you decluttered, but out of your house forever makes a world of difference. Now, this next one is probably one of the most crucial parts of maintaining a clean house. If you don't do this, the motivation and everything is pretty much useless. And that is celebrating the small wins. Don't be afraid to celebrate those daily, weekly, or even monthly achievements. Rewarding yourself in a small way and celebrating will create so much more motivation. And motivation is the key for consistent habits.
Tell you what she's doing with me. She's so damn out of my league. She's a little bit crazy on the weekends, dancing in her red dress, and I love the way she looks in my eyes. And I'm feeling like
All right, I actually got through those tips quicker than expected. So I'm going to give you guys some bonus tips to go along with those. And bonus tip number 1 is keeping it simple yet consistent. Consistency is going to be key. You don't have to worry about doing these huge projects every single day. If you can just stay consistent on the small things, the big things will come. Consistency on those little tasks will, one, give you the motivation to do the big tasks, but also make those big tasks not feel so overwhelming.
with that sweet smiling, there's nobody else for me. My heart starts racing every time.
The next one's my favorite saying, and I say it in every single video because I feel like it is so important, especially with social media nowadays making everything look perfect. I swear we compare ourselves to everyone online every single day, and I do the exact same thing. But we need to remind ourselves that online personalities, these are our highlight reels. They aren't everything. They aren't the nitty gritty. They aren't the days that I'm getting in fights with my preteen kids, or the days that the baby was up crying all night, or anything like that. You guys are seeing highlight reels. We're seeing highlight reels. So focusing on progress over perfection, because no one's life is perfect. No matter what it seems like online, there's always stuff going on, and we like to compare ourselves, but we also, none of us are walking in each other's shoes. So figure out what works for you and focus on the progress, because a little bit done today is better than nothing at all.
All right. Wouldn't lie to you. Didn't matter what I
And now I think this one is very important, especially after going through all of these tips. My next tip is going to be incorporate cleaning into your daily habit gradually. Don't feel like with these tips that you have to implement everything I said all at once. That is probably the biggest thing that'll head you to failure the fastest. But figure out which one spoke to you the most. If you can implement just one of these tips a week and slowly add one in as you perfect the next one, that is going to be a lot more manageable as well as sustainable than if you just try and implement everything all at one time. Often we want to have a quick, like, magic pill to fix everything and get exactly where we want to be. But perfection, one, isn't a thing, and it takes time. It takes time to get to where you're at today. So it's going to take time to get to where you want to be tomorrow.
Tell you how I feel. Maybe I'll get lucky somehow. And you'll come out tonight and let your
I feel like it is so important to remember that a tidy home truly is the foundation for a peaceful mind. And even the little small efforts can make the biggest of differences. And as you're going through this process, to just remember that clutter is temporary, but these simple habits are going to bring you peace and calm for years to come. You don't have to do it all at once. Those consistent little habits create that simple and more organized home. And every small step towards organization is also a small step towards more time with friends and family, more time for you to have just you time and self-care. And all of this in the end creates less stress and a happier home, not just for you, but for everyone living in the space with you as well.
come out tonight. And baby, I just might seduce ya. Come out.
I want you to remember that progress, no matter how small, is still progress. So I want you to keep moving forward. Your home doesn't have to be perfect, just a little bit better every day. Those small habits create big change. You will be shocked at what you're looking at in a year from now. So I challenge you to start today and watch your home transform in front of your eyes, because that little effort every single day is going to build up to a home that you're going to love. I know you are capable for creating that home that feels calm and organized and peaceful. Just remember, one step at a time. Every clutter cleared is a moment of peace gained. So stop waiting for perfection and celebrate those small wins along the way. Your home is a reflection of your effort. So keep it small, keep it simple, but keep it consistent. Because the most beautiful homes out there are built on habits and not perfection. And honestly, as I'm saying this, I'm also just keep thinking that I know you've got this. Like, you can do this. And those small changes lead to huge results.
I stand here calling at your door. Yeah, I'm yours. Anywhere you want. Yeah, I'm yours. And now we're singing.
All right. But I know after a busy day like today, often I show you guys like my more in-depth meals, but there are days that you don't want to spend a lot of time cooking. Honestly, there's days that I don't want to spend any time cooking. And tonight's dinner is one of those meals that I do when I don't feel like spending any time cooking. Sure, it may not be the healthiest meal in the day, or not in the day, but ever. But don't come at me. It's easy, it's delicious, and the kids devour this meal. So super simple. I am taking some salsa and putting it at the bottom of my 9x13 right here. I'm going to spread it around. I use this, one, for flavor, but two, it helps for the burritos not to stick. You can get whatever frozen burritos you want. Like I said, is it the healthiest? No. Did this take me less than 5 minutes to put together? Yep. And that is what I was looking for on this day, because like I said, there are some days you just won't want to cook. I then take some nacho cheese sauce. You can also use like enchilada sauce. My kids are not a fan of when I do this with enchilada sauce, but they love anything cheesy. So I put that on top and spread that in, and then just cook it as directed on the back of the packaging. This is such a quick and easy meal. I then just serve it with some lettuce. I wish I had fresh tomatoes on this day, but I didn't, and some sour cream. And dinner was ready in less than 30 minutes from start to finish. But I'll see you guys next time. Bye.